Hello and welcome to part 5. This is the last video in the series on how to create your own curriculum, assessing learning, and tracking progress. My name is Jade. I am a homeschool mother of 10 years in, just graduated her, and I've been an educator for over 20 years. Check out Teacher Jade's Writing Academy for all your writing needs. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So before we get started, let's just go over what an assessment really means. So assessment is just a gathering of information about what your child understands and what they can do. You don't need traditional testing. If you think about why you decided to homeschool, I know a lot of families decided to homeschool because they didn't want their child to be taught to a test. Doesn't really mean that they've learned something. They may have retained enough information to pass the test and then forgot it. But unit studies, which we went over in video 4, are a way of integrating learning. And then with an assessment, it shows the understanding of many things, and children can demonstrate learning through projects and conversations. Tests aren't required. After this video, there will be some handouts that will be available that will help you with tracking and assessing. This handout will be really important if you're interested in the different types of assessments. So just list the assessment types, when it happens, what it does, and an example. So for the first assessment type, diagnostic, it happens before the learning and it shows what a child already knows. So in one of these videos, I already discussed assessing your child, and it's not the same as the assessment. You're trying to see where they're at first. And this could be done with a pretest, discussion, a brain dump. You're just asking them questions to gauge where they're at and what they know. This is solely my opinion, but observations matter the most. Again, just my opinion. And you can do this by watching, but also tracking. So simple tracking methods, having a notebook journal, a checklist, weekly reflection sheet, keeping photos of the work, and then creating a portfolio folder. For my child, I kept a portfolio and I kept it digital. So whatever work she did, snapped a picture, uploaded, kept it in a digital portfolio. Once she got older, I actually made her a website for her own portfolio. But through your observations, the things you want to pay attention to: their confidence, their independence, their problem solving, and their communication. If those areas are lacking, they probably need a little bit more assistance and more practice. If they're knocking it out, they've got it, it's time to move on to the next assignment. By now, you know I love a chart. And you don't have to go into details about the assessment, what they've learned, and all those things unless you want to. So if you recall this image from the unit study about the oceans, this is a really simple, this is a really simple checklist where I just list the skill or the task. Did they accomplish it? Yes, no, or are they improving? And I might add another column where I focus on adding my own notes so that I know what to do if they still need help mastering this lesson. Now, as far as the portfolio, a portfolio is a collection of work over time. You can include writing samples, projects, drawings, photos, your notes that you've taken. And this is going to be really important if, let's say, you decide to put your child back in school, or if they want to join a program or organization and they want proof that your child's eligible or that they're smart enough to be in the program. Having this portfolio allows them to look through what your child's completed, and if they've mastered those skills. It'll be important for admissions into some colleges. All colleges don't require a portfolio, but for homeschoolers, we want to put forth that extra effort to show that they've actually done the learning. And it also helps you determine what they focus on and what they've learned. The things that you want to include in the portfolio, I like to put the beginning work. So whatever we start at the beginning of the school year, let's say I have my child write an essay. I'm going to put in their first draft, their very first draft. And then at the end, I'm going to put in a final draft so that we can visually see the improvement from beginning to end. You can keep a physical portfolio or a digital portfolio. This is the digital one that I created for my child. Her actual, well, it's not her whole portfolio, but it's the website that I created for her when she knew what track she wanted to go on. I looked up the school she wanted to attend, and I knew exactly what they were going to be looking for. And then you want to keep track of what you put in that portfolio. So again, all these handouts will be available, but it's just a simple form where you can track what you're putting in there. If you are homeschooling your child from kindergarten to graduation, you want this sheet because you're not going to remember what they mastered and what they did in the first grade from the fifth grade up into graduation. Now, let's say you've completed the unit study and you want to add something to their portfolio, like a final project as an assessment. This could be a presentation. Are they able to model what they've learned back to you? It could be a written piece, a poster, and then a tracking form. And to keep this really simple, here's a simple tracking formula. Observe, watch it, record it, reflect, and adjust. So, how do you know when you need to adjust what you're teaching? So, if your child is struggling, slow down, reteach it in a new way, add hands on practice if they're a hands on learner, and then change the resources. If you want more information, more free resources, follow all of my social media pages, and make sure you visit www.teacherjade.com to check out my writing courses for youth ages 8 to 18 and the Parent Academy, where you'll be able to get your free downloads.